Okay guys, yes, good morning. It is the 25th of the 7th, 2020, 11:33 a.m. London time. Very quick update for you as we proceed into the weekend. Just want to give you a collated view of the market, what I'm expecting, and the positions that at least we're playing in Tier 7. So, number one is start with God Market BTC. I have no interest for what this does on a lower time frame. When BTC starts trending in a particular direction, I do not want to look at the 1 minute chart, right, or the 5 minute, 1 hour chart. So really what I'm seeing here is fairly simple, okay? We have a weekly chart that has smashed into a resistance area. We have two strong weekly resistance points. Number one is this vomit area, so 9746, and the other one is this untapped supply, at least on the weekly, which is 10166, right? These are two areas of trouble. As it stands, I'm not entirely bullish yet for upside, okay? So I really don't know what's going to happen here. I will be taking profits at these respectful points. We formed a high here and then we broke down. We are consolidating now for 2 months underneath resistance. I'll show you the bullish idea soon. But I think it's wise to take profit if we dip into this region here, because often trends do this. They have a top, they form a low, they form a lower high, and then they move down, right? That's what usually happens when we form a top. This looks like a top to me because it's a quick snapback with a wick, with a big candle, and a move back down past this relevant support zone, okay? So if we look at this on the daily, what we find is, okay, look, you have a long consolidation here in a falling wedge break, right? And your liquidity is right above this high here. So if I bin this and I literally just draw a line right here, anyone that's going short, this is where they have their stop loss, right? So at the very least, I'm looking for a move over here. If we want to take our fib retracement and just check for methods of confluence, we find that we have two areas, 9791 and 10,050. So this coincides reasonably with my targets, right? So target one area, target 2 area. I will be using these fibs for better confluence. So then onto the bullish idea. Okay. So really we need a monthly close above here, right? Above 9588. I think that could leave scope for us to continue further. But even that is a bit shifty. What I do see here is I see a flagpole, a big consolidation, and then a potential breakout happening here, right? So in my opinion, if you're trying to get in for spot and BTC spot, or you're in BTC spot, it's not really time to sell, okay? We could come back down here, but on evidence of a breakdown, that's when you start hedging out and you hedge back in on evidence of support if we base out down here. But this, this could get explosive. I mentioned previously in a tweet that the path of max pain would be just teleporting straight up, right? It would be teleporting straight up in a method similar to this. So in essence, where this is leg number one, this is the consolidation, and this leg expands, right? If we do end up expanding, where do we expand to? Well, it's pretty simple. Take this as leg 1, take this as leg 2. You're looking at 14.7, but what's the higher end of that? 16.241, right? So if we start to break out past this region here, then it's go time, right? So this is really key level, 10.147 on the weekly. Do we find any lower triggers? Well, if the daily closes above here, we skyrocket, right? So, okay, there's liquidity there, but if we move above here and don't wick and come back down, but we hold it and we start to move, that's a market execute higher. So that's my bullish scenario. It's simple. Daily close above 10,535. This is very likely at that point to continue to around 16,000. If not, we get a cookie jar dip and forward down, or the first plan that I said to you was to take partial profits here and expect for a move down, all right? So there's 3 different scenarios we're expecting. Bank them in your brain. There's a big difference in how people perform, right, in these circumstances. And the ones that perform well, what do? Well, they memorize the potential scenarios and they plan for all scenarios. Those are 3 of the most probable scenarios we can see occurring on BTC in the short to mid term. Okay, next is BTC dominance. So I do not know what that wick was. Absolutely no idea. I'm just going to take this from the monthly view, seeing as we have just under a week left. This appears to me to be on the way down to 57.46. If we have a retracement, you want to look at around 65, which is a 3% increase from where we were at. But at the moment, it's looking bearish. On daily time frames, we're just still dripping down. We have this wick, but I have no idea what it is. So I'm just going to discount that for a moment because it's not entirely correlated with the market, it seems. Okay, so BTC dominance down for the time being. Resistance at 65.52. If any alter support there, you gobble them up and you take them for a long as this moves here. Okay, this morning we've got two new trades to share with you. First trade is Tron. Okay, so Tron, take everything off. What it does is it moves into resistance, moves down, moves back up over resistance. So right here, it moves up over resistance. It retests resistance, makes a primary low here, makes a higher low here. And if you want to look at this parallel target at least, there's a new high left untouched here. So in fact, Tron looks like it's gunning for this untapped zone here. If we take our monthly view, it's most likely aligned with the monthly, right? So here is the next monthly confluence area. So 216, 207, 216, two relevant targets. In essence, we have a move up here, consolidation, a move up here, and another consolidation. So we're expecting what happened here to follow through as we move into this area. Understood? Okay, next is Litecoin. So it's major season now. I think BNB and Ethereum are leading the charge. But should Litecoin close this 12-hour candle above here, I'm going long at market with a stop below this 12-hour impulse and taking take profit 1, take profit 2. If the daily doesn't manage to close above here, I will just close out my trade early and look for a different entry. Next, we have EOS USDT, almost ready, not quite ready yet. It's technically not breaking this falling wedge because it's not above this high yet. All right, we're consolidating underneath it, but we need a daily close above this high. We get that. That's signal for entry. Soft stop here, hard stop here, depending on market volatility. Okay, and the last thing I mentioned this morning is BNB. It's almost at targets. I'm going to start taking partials in a minute, but our proper target is 20.433. It's no surprise we stopped at 19.999, likely to come down to this block and then make one final high. We will be looking to scale out towards tonight or tomorrow morning, seeing as it's a weekend. But the weekly is very strong, and I think that we can just go a little higher on BNB. So we may take our targets down just by just 1% or so, but that is done. I've got a watch list here that's pretty fat. I'm not going to go through everything. Last thing is algo we're watching. So I think this is a very prominent trade. I've got a scalp trade here on a retest of this block up here. I want to see a final high made here in order to short algo down to 2965 and then to pick it up right at that support region, right? So I really would like to pick this up. It doesn't look like it's in an area of support right now, right? So I'm expecting just a little bit further downside and then we'll see. Why do I like algo? Well, the weekly is trending up hard, right? And we have this area that hasn't been untapped. So my thesis is we're going to move down to here and then start to move back up to 4534. These are the trades we're tracking right now. These are the trades we are playing. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in today. It is the weekend. So have a lovely weekend and peace.